Good morning, YouTube. So with today's video, I'm going to give you my 12 best designer pickups for 2023. Part 1. This will be a two-part video because I don't want to get everything in one video. The video is going to be too long. First one, I just did a video yesterday with Chad Seekers when I met up with him, and I ended up buying this retail. When I pay retail, it means it's that damn good, and I can't wait till it hits the discounters. But that's going to be Boss Bottled Elixir from Hugo Boss. This stuff, like, I could just smell it from here. There's a whole lot of cardamom. There's frankincense, olibanum. There's like maybe some labdanum. There's some patchouli, some woods. This stuff is incredibly good. It's masculine, it's gentlemanly, but it's bad boy. You could wear this with a suit and tie, with a tuxedo, but if you want to dress it down, you could wear this easily with a black tee and a leather jacket. This is not a mass appealing Hugo Boss release at all. They have created so many fragrances. I own probably over 40 from this brand, and I own 3 that are very outside the box. Number 2 is a cheapie, and it's probably one of the oldest ones in this list. Yes, it is. It's going to be Moschino's Uomo. This stuff came out in 1998, and it's powdery, it's aldehydic, there's a nice kumquat, musky, without question. There is a little bit of clary sage, some labdanum, some coriander. This is old school masculine, and when I mean old school masculine, I'm thinking like the manly guys from back in the day, like a long time ago, like before that I was born, that would wear suit and ties, that type of masculinity. You know, like World War II vets, the greatest generation that ever lived. You know, that's what they're considered, and I would have to agree. The toughest sons of bitches that ever lived. You know, a lot of those veterans would wear suits after, like, when they would go to work. Some would become blue-collar workers, but a lot of them would become like professionals. That's what like the old school masculine for me is. This is spring and fall, and yeah, like I was not expecting to like this one, and this got a ton of hype back in the day because of Jeremy Fragrance, and I'm the kind of guy that avoids the hype train, but here I am. Fragrance number 3 is a great spring and summer scent, and it's not your typical sports fragrance at all. Ralph Lauren Polo Sport Fresh. Now this does have mint, it's got citruses, C notes, clary sage, and it's got iris. The iris in this is what adds that unusual sports feel. Like there's that powdery undertone. It's clean, it's soapy, but it's like a clean, soapy, powdery. Like I'm probably just, you know, not knowing what I'm talking about right here, but in some ways, this reminds me like the type of soap would be like that Prada soap. Prada is a high-end company, it's much more higher end than this, but Prada Amber, it's that clean, soapy feel that feels very rich. That's what this is, but in a sports scent. It's not your typical sports scent, as I said, and this might resonate a little bit more with like the guys who like to that are more into like fashion, you know, like suits and ties, something stylish, nothing like white t-shirt and jeans. But you can wear this with a white t-shirt and jeans, no problem. So if you want something that's a little bit different than the other sports fragrances out there, this is one that I definitely think that you should look into. Smell it if you can, don't blind buy, because that powdery nuance might not be for you. Fragrance number 4, this one came out in 2014, but I believe that they redid the bottle design. Valentino Uomo. Now the 2014 release does not have like this studded edge around it, but this is not original as it smells a lot like Dior Homme. But this stuff is actually sexy and it's fantastic. Now, iris is not a listed note, but I do get that iris component because there is that irisy makeup bag and there is that powdery touch. But there's like hazelnut, there's cacao, coffee, there's leather, and I think cedar, or might be sandalwood. This stuff is sexy, but it is classy. You could wear this with a tuxedo all the way down to something like this. I would wear it with something a little bit more, you know, a little bit more stylish than this, but this will go very well with something as simple and as casual as this. This is fall and wintertime, and if you're like one of those masculine, burly kind of guys, I don't think that this is something for you. And because of the cacao and the hazelnut, there is that gourmand quality along with the coffee. But this stuff here, fantastic. Number 5 is going to be the cheapest one in this list, and that's going to be Kenneth Cole Serenity. Believe it or not, a Kenneth Cole actually made this type of list. This is actually really nice, and I used to be a big lover of the brand. I used to enjoy their fragrances, but it was more of their fashion that I was really much into when I was slimmer. I have lost a lot of weight. I've lost 30 pounds in the last 3 months alone, just a lot of walking, so I don't know if you guys could tell, but trust me, I feel way better. And I actually did 10,000 steps this morning alone, so I'm dedicated. But this stuff here is quite sexy. It is a unisex scent, and it does lean a little towards the ladies out there as well. Now what you're gonna get vanilla. The vanilla in this does add that sweetness. The peach does add that feminine touch, and it is there, but if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss it. There is labdanum that adds that ambery touch. There's a little bit of tonka bean, some cashmere, and there's gonna be a little bit of a boozy whiskey note in there. Quite nice. It's perfect for this autumn and wintertime, maybe spring, but like a cold spring night for going out. This is a great date fragrance. If you want to wear it daily, by all means go ahead, but for me this just has that nighttime vibe. Number 6, this one was a gift from my wife, a Diwali gift, because you know Diwali was just a couple weeks ago, and just in case you're curious, Diwali is pretty much like Christmas and New Year's for Hindus, all right? But this one here, one of the best releases of 2023, and that's going to be YSL Myself. I love this stuff, and trust me, some of the comments on the video that I did were criticizing the hell out of me, and if you take this hobby too seriously, that tells me a lot about your masculinity. And this is coming from someone who is not exactly the most masculine dude. So check your testosterone, because you might be running on low T. Just saying. Sorry, not sorry. But this fragrance has Calabrian bergamot, or just bergamot. It's got orange blossom, ambroxan, but also patchouli. Not exactly the most masculine fragrance, so a lot of those guys that take this shit too seriously, that are criticizing me, this is a fragrance that I think that would suit you, because it's not exactly the most masculine. Again, sorry, not sorry. This is a gentleman's fragrance. When I wear this, I feel fantastic. I feel like a gentleman, and I'm a little rough around the edges. I'm not, like, I'm the community nice guy, but I could be very blunt. Some people don't like my bluntness, and that's okay. We live in this PC world where PC is run amok, and I'm just sick and tired of it. And this is a guy who can be a little politically correct himself, for heaven's sake. So this is a suit and tie type of fragrance. It's tuxedo. It's for the spring and autumn time, and I would say a summer night out. This is class in a bottle. And once again, when I wear this, I feel like I'm a classy gentleman. Next fragrance, this is a brand that I'm starting to get into, and I ended up buying a whole bunch of fragrances this year alone. And it is unfortunately discontinued, but you can pick it up here and there. That's gonna be Kenzo Power. This stuff is very much like this stuff here. Very gently, but it's not very masculine. What makes this a very gently fragrance, and I find that this can be a unisex scent in my opinion, is going to be the geranium. This is a citrus scent with geranium, lemon verbena, there's coriander, there's cardamom, with like cedar and like tolu balsam or something like that, maybe vetiver. It's really like a citrusy, floral, spicy. This, in my opinion, has a bit of a gray flannel feel. So if you're familiar with gray flannel, this, in my opinion, maybe it's just me, has that feel. It's a little old school, a little mature, and Rush said the same thing when we did the video, but this is just suit and tie. A guy who likes to dress up with fashion. Very gently. Spring, autumn. Next fragrance, if you love mint fragrances, then you're gonna love Carbon L'Eau Intense, or Intense. So French Canadian kicks in every now and then, all right? But this stuff here, just loaded with mint, with citruses, so like lemon, grapefruit, there's lavender, there's of course ginger that does energize it, there's a little bit of cardamom with some wood, so that is going to be birch and something else. This is spring and summertime. For a minty citrus scent, there is a little bit of class to this. So you could wear this with a suit and tie. Like if you're going to a daytime semi-formal event, This will go very well with a suit and tie, but you can also dress this down casually. I don't want to say bummy, not like flip-flops, tank top, and shorts, but something that's like a nice golf shirt, like a nice button-up with some nice pair of khakis and loafers. That'll go very well with this. Fragrance number 8. This stuff unfortunately was discontinued, but it's fantastic. If you can get it for a good price tag, just do so. Armani Eau de Nuit. This is not for everybody though, because this does have vanilla. It's got a very powdery iris. There's also heliotrope that does add a little bit more of a powdery undertone as well. So for a men's fragrance, I really do think that this can be a unisex scent. This is for a cosmopolitan, a metrosexual. I call them cosmopolitan kind of guys now, because metrosexual is just, the term's kind of played out, you know, or like a modern day gentleman. That's what this is. So iris, heliotrope, vanilla, pink pepper, tonka amber, and some woods. This is night out, a date for the lounge, not a club, no. But if you wear this on a date, you know, and like the date that you're on is like very girly girl, you know, like who's like the same thing as like a guy who's like a cosmopolitan kind of guy, your date is going to love this. Number 9 is a great fall and winter fragrance, and the bottle itself, not so classy, but the scent itself absolutely is. Moschino Toy Boy. This stuff, I didn't think that I was gonna love because I am not the biggest lover of rose-based fragrances. This does have a very prominent rose, but there is also like a balsamic-y vinaigrette type of feel to it. There's also pink pepper, there's cloves, there's like magnolia, I think there's flax. I don't really get any of the other florals but the rose itself. I do get the spices, I do get the resins, and of course I get the sandalwood and the amber. Just uber classy. Like this will go very well with like something like this all the way to a tuxedo. And it's not that expensive neither. You can get this for under 50 bucks Canadian. And last but not least, number 12. I just caught myself now because some of these fragrances, like the last couple, I was saying like 9, 10. I'm used to doing a top 5 or a top 10, not 12. But last but not least, number 12 is going to be Bulgari Man Rain Essence. Rain Essence. You know, my mouth's a little bit dry, I've been struggling the last little bit. But this stuff here is fantastic. Some people are going to think it's a little bit generic, just kind of like this one here. Whatever, tastes are subjective. But this is very gentlemanlike. This is a perfect spring and summer scent that has musk. It's got lotus, green tea, some citrus, and a little bit of woods. Absolutely fantastic and very gentlemanly. You're gonna get that lotus that adds that watery floral. You're gonna get the musk. There is a powdery undertone, and to my nose, this has a bit of a wet pavement smell to it. You know, like when after it rains and it's starting to dry. That I get a little bit of that in this fragrance. And guys, that's it. That is part 1 of the 12 best designer fragrances that I bought this year alone. So part 2 will have another 12, and I will be doing a niche one as well. So any reviews that I've done on these fragrances, they will all be down in the description box below. And if you like this very video, please leave me one of these. What videos to watch next? Well, because this is a list, why don't you check out spring, summer here, and autumn, fall here. So I thank you for my time. Take care, and I will see you later. Thanks for watching, everybody.